Welcome to the MALAT program and this week's Research Symposium. My name is Michelle Verburg and I currently live in Calgary, Alberta. I'm part of the fully online cohort of MALAT students that started in 2015 and we're about to commence in 36 days. Similar to most of my MALAT assignments, I selected a research topic connected to my current job. I work at the University of Calgary as a manager for learning programs within the business school in a department called Executive Education. So I pondered, what challenges do I need to solve? And what keeps me awake at night? The context. A large component of my job is working closely with cross-functional faculty members from the business school to design and deliver executive development learning solutions for corporate Calgary. Over the past 3 years, ExecEd's learning model has evolved, transitioning from delivering traditional lecture-based educational programs to providing interactive, learner-centric developmental learning experiences. Though this is a tongue twister, this is a data-driven strategic transition. This requires ExecEd to actively integrate learning methods that support experiential learning, such as adult learning principles and work-based learning principles. This change requires ExecEd's faculty members to learn how to incorporate experiential learning techniques, such as action learning and appreciative inquiry, into their own teaching practices. Essentially, the challenge is to develop skillful facilitators to support this new learning model. ExecEd lacks the systematic faculty development strategies and support systems, and this lack of system actually may jeopardize our department's ability to scale and grow our business. Many of my faculty members in the business school are subject matter experts, and while they are specialists in their field, they often lack the knowledge of recent teaching processes to facilitate executive learning experiences we are now trying to achieve. So both the context and the challenge leads me to my primary research question, which is, what are the best strategies in designing a faculty development program? And my two supporting sub-questions are, what influencing factors might be considered in the design of the learning development program? And who are the stakeholders, key stakeholders? How and when should they be engaged? The theoretical framework underpinning this research is adult learning theory. The pivotal reason I selected this framework is because research indicates faculty members are considered to be adult learners. In addition, it does subscribe to our new learning model within ExecEd. I intended throughout my whole research to view program design using this lens. To identify effective faculty development strategies, I conducted a qualitative metasynthesis. A metasynthesis analyzes and interprets various research findings to discover new insights. A metasynthesis is an interpretive research approach that seeks to make sense and constructs an explanation of related experiences in various contexts. When conducting my literature review, I found limited academic literature connected to the Faculty of Business. Much of the literature connected to faculty development is connected actually with healthcare disciplines, such as medicine and nursing, for a focus on clinical teachers. And this is the reason I selected a metasynthesis, is because I'm able to take experiences from other contexts and draw them into my context. Disclaimer, this is a 90-second bunny trail, I hope. Or I hop. But regardless, it's a bunny trail, and I know you'll be going on many bunny trails throughout your whole experience with the MALAT program, so good luck. So back to my research process. I included literature that was connected to higher education, and the literature also had to be connected to faculty development programs that focused on improving instruction. So what this meant is I excluded any faculty development programs focused on improving research practices or leadership capabilities. I began with approximately 60 articles after my search and eliminated approximately 20% of the articles after reading them entirely. So the lessons I learned really were connected to the process of research. I really recommend avoiding Coding a segment of literature more than 1 or 2 times. Avoid coding one segment with 4 or 5 codes. This is something that Joe really helped me through when I was going through coding. Next time when I go into doing research, I really will consider it a qualitative software. This does not eliminate your own coding, but it does help you with collecting all the codes and being very systematic with querying the data. So those are 2 things I have learned from this process. So thanks for listening. So how did I make sense of all this data? To begin with, I actually organized the findings using elements of the Caffarel and Daffron's interactive model of program planning for adult learning. I specifically selected 8 out of the 11 elements that I felt was connected to program design and began to categorize the findings into the following elements: the context, build the case of support, needs assessment, goals and objectives, learning activities and program design, learning transfer plan, and evaluation plan. Within each element, literature was coded deductively into subcategories. Though some of the codes emerged, the majority of the literature was coded deductively into subcategories. The subcategories evolved from both the literature review, adult learning theory, and the Caffarel and Daffron's program planning model. Okay, so all this data is coded, now what? Here are my preliminary findings. Throughout my findings, I refer to the faculty developer. The faculty developer is a program planner who is designing the faculty development program. Within the context, there was 2 subcategories: the learner, aka the faculty member, as well as the organizational context. The faculty developer is actually encouraged to involve the learner at the beginning stages of the design process. In fact, it's suggested that they actually foster a feedback loop between themselves and the learners. Since the findings were highly contextualized, they were not generalizable. However, the processes are transferable into my context. So within this section, I actually extracted questions that the faculty developer needs to seek and find answers to before designing the faculty program. To help understand the organizational context, the faculty developer should review the strategic plan of the department, the faculty, and the greater university. They should also consider how the faculty development program may support the goals of the organization and impact the entire system. Another aspect that came up in literature quite often was to identify the cultural norms, specifically as it connects to barriers for the transfer of learning. The preliminary findings for building the case of support were divided into 2 subsections: the learner and the academic leadership. The faculty developer once again was encouraged to engage with the learner at the beginning stages of the design process. This begins to build a rapport between the faculty developer and the target audience. Learners are typically engaged during the planning and evaluation stage of program delivery. Specifically, there were 2 opportunities to engage the faculty member, aka the learner, in the process. One is to ask for their feedback during the needs assessment stage, and 2, request their assistance when creating the evaluation plan for the program. The literature highlights the need for the faculty developer to build a strong relationship with the key academic leaders. Within the literature, academic leaders were engaged to help identify the learning need and within the needs assessment stage. In addition, academic leaders are able to participate in defining the learner selection criteria and potentially nominating learners to come to the program. Much of the literature connected to needs assessments actually focused on the multiple purposes that data could be used for. The data could be used to identify the root cause to a performance issue, identify competencies and teaching skills needed. It can also help with understanding the learner's motivation, comfort with technology, and even gauge their perception of faculty development. The needs assessment is another tool to actually build a data-driven business case for the faculty development. Since the results of a needs assessment are highly contextualized, they are very difficult to translate to another context. However, the processes are transferable. Adapting a pre-existing tool or survey from other faculty development departments may be beneficial for the faculty developer. It's encouraged that the faculty developer actually shares the results of the needs assessment to the learner as well. A significant aha moment I had in this section was that using the needs assessment strategically to understand the learner's pre-existing knowledge really does connect with the adult learning theory that underpins this research. Okay, so the three themes that came out of the goals and objectives section were that the goals and objectives could be divided into two segments, individual and organizational, and that creating clear program goals and outcomes can help establish success measures, help create a clear narrative, and help develop the evaluation plan. A significant portion of the data that I coded connected to the design considerations, as well as instruction plan and learning activities. The primary theme here was that the program design should align to the data collected in all the previous stages. And similar to the needs assessment, I extracted the processes and models and structures used in other programs to be able to transfer into the context of the business school. This is a very significant portion of the research that connects to and links to adult learning theory. Closely linked with creating a learning transfer plan are the contextual factors within the organization, specifically challenges or barriers that the faculty developer should consider when creating the faculty development program. Faculty developers must deliberately design all aspects of the faculty development program with a relentless focus on how the learner will transfer their learning into their teaching practices. Interestingly, there was limited research or literature that actually specifically talked about creating a learning transfer plan, specifically when designing a program. Creating an evaluation plan is pivotal to the program planning process. It links with the program goals, outcomes, and success measures. Similar to the needs assessment, faculty developers have the option of adapting tools and methods from other faculties. The research encourages both quantitative and qualitative data to be collected during the evaluation process. And it should be planned that multiple stakeholders be asked and not just have self-reported evals from the learners. This will help with the data and the triangulation of the data. Barriers to the program evaluation is typically lack of time on the administration side, resources on the administration side, and even the sample size. As mentioned earlier, there is one aha moment that I had connected to the evaluation plan, and that is when building the case of support and how to engage the faculty member as a co-researcher. They are experts at research, so this is something I should engage them with. Within the recommendations section of my research paper, my goal is to integrate the findings into a project plan that would really detail the how-to approach when designing a faculty development program. I also intend to support that with data collection templates that would again align to the research findings. Yoga breath. Wow, thank you so much for watching my presentation and letting me disseminate my research. If you have any questions about my presentation or would like a copy of my reference list, I'm more than willing to share that with you. Also, I'm wondering if you're in Calgary and you're part of the new cohort, let's go for coffee. Probably after June 4th when I'm done my research paper, but I would love to connect with some new students that are coming into the MALAT program. Again, thank you, enjoy your research symposium, and have a great day.